The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Justin Fields has been benched, but I don't think we've seen the last of him. We'll talk about that and much more. Robby Sabo will also join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
How do you think Justin played overall?
There's some things that he could have done better. Again, we do have to watch the tape.
Oh, there it is. You got to bench him. He stinks.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Apologies for some tech issues for anyone who's tuned in live. The internet outage, Cloudflare going down, impacted StreamYard. It impacted everything we do to get ready for the show. And I found out that I'm filling in for Michael K today on ESPN New York from 1 to 3 Eastern. So this show will not be as long as normal. So because of that, for those of you expecting the winners of the 49th Asmaniac raffle to be announced, we'll do that during our second stream at 4:30 Eastern with Joe Blewett. So this will be the final show for you to enter. And because of that, let's boost all memberships and super chats that qualify by 2. So if you gift 5, guess what? It's 7 today. And that applies for everyone who is participating in the raffle. This is the last chance for you to enter. With that said, let's talk more about the state of the Jets following the news yesterday that the New York Jets are benching Justin Fields. And look, here's the reality. The Jets had no choice but to make this decision for a multitude of reasons. The biggest being Justin Fields is not any good. Tyrod Taylor might not be the answer long-term. And when I say might, he is not the answer long-term. But you know what? He at least gives you a better chance to win. And he at least gives you an opportunity to now properly evaluate the other players on your team. Mitchell, Mechie, Mason Taylor, the offensive line. See what Breece Hall could potentially look like with less guys stacked in the box. And maybe most importantly, can we get a better idea on who Tanner Engstrand is? What this offensive staff looks like? If we assume Aaron Glenn is not going anywhere, then we need to learn more about his coaches. Who will be here? And if the Jets are in more competitive games because of Tyrod, that also gives you a better opportunity to evaluate other pieces on this team that are on defense and the defensive coaching staff, right? The Jets, a defense that has 1 turnover the entire season. They don't have an interception yet. Well, if they're getting blown out, teams aren't going to throw as much against the New York Jets. Why would you? So to me, it's just about having a better idea for your roster when you make this kind of move. And I think it's the right move. Because ultimately, you cannot sit here and say if you're Aaron Glenn, you're all about playing the guys that give you the best chance to win and saying Justin Fields at this point still does that. He's had over 100 passing yards only 2 times in those last 5 starts. They're 32nd in passing yards per game. Fields has 505 yards in his past 5 starts. He's 30th out of 33 qualified passers in total QBR. He's 2-7 this season. We've seen the last of Justin Fields, I believe, as a starter. However, as these things typically go, just like when we thought it was the end of Zach Wilson multiple times, and it seemingly never was, I'm not convinced this is necessarily the end of Justin Fields because Tyrod Taylor has an injury history. He's been hurt this year. Him getting hurt is why he didn't start against the Cincinnati Bengals a month ago. So, look, if Tyrod goes down, do I think Fields would come in? Right now, I do. That said, I think that's also a mistake. Let's get Brady Cook up to speed. Let's see what he is. Do we have potentially a backup on our team, or is he a nothing burger? We're just going to move on. Like, get him ready. I don't need to see Justin Fields anymore. I don't. If he's going to be the backup on Sunday, that's fine. But to me, the goal should be, hey, Brady Cook, be ready to play if Tyrod goes down. Look at the Jets' schedule down the stretch. Can Brady Cook be ready to play in that game at home against Miami on the 7th? 2 weeks coming up? Can he be ready to play against the Jaguars? Maybe not Jacksonville with that defense at home, but the Saints? Like, that to me is what I want to see the rest of the way. I don't want to see Justin Fields start anymore. Justin Fields starting does absolutely nothing for the New York Jets. We know what he is. We've evaluated him. We've seen it. And you look at the ramifications of Justin Fields, we know it didn't work out. Here's the biggest question now going forward for the New York Jets. Can Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, who got it just so unbelievably wrong on Fields, right? Can the people who got it so wrong with Fields get it right with their next major quarterback decision? Let's not also pretend like this does not represent a major failure for Aaron Glenn. This is the guy who bristled at all questions over Justin Fields' job security. Remember, he played games refusing to publicly name his starting quarterback multiple times. He cited competitive advantage. Remember that? Well, where's the competitive advantage now, Aaron? You let it get out that Justin Fields is not starting anymore. I thought we were playing games. I thought we wanted competitive advantage. So that's my question. We played games with the media under the excuse of competitive advantage, but now Justin Fields is already been named the starter here. It gets leaked out. Players on a conference call yesterday, Jeremy Ruckert confirming it. All right, that's fine. It doesn't bother me, but it's just once again like a little bit hypocritical from this head coach. But the bigger picture is, once again, can this regime that got it so wrong with their Fields evaluation get it right with the next one? And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, they gave Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed, $40 million overall. The Jets are admitting that was a mistake. What did they learn from that mistake? And can they rectify that mistake, whether that be in the draft or with a potential trade? We know about all the capital the Jets have. Can they rectify the Justin Fields mistake? That is the biggest question for this team going forward. Right? You got your one veteran pick of Fields. Didn't work. You're not going to get fired for it. Even though you said, we're going to coach this guy up. He's never been coached properly. Darren Muji compared Fields with the Jets like Sam Darnold reviving his career, like Baker Mayfield reviving his career. These guys got it so wrong on Fields. Can they now learn from it and get it right with whatever coms next? That's the question for the Jets going forward. Right now, we say hello to the co-founder of JetsXFactor.com, Robby Sabo. Robby, I know JetX was down today because of the Cloudflare outage. So, good morning for both of us. Appreciate you still carving out some time to join us.
You got it. Yeah, it's been, cybersecurity is a hell of a thing these days, Jake. And for folks wondering where I'm at, not creating content, that's it. AI bots attacking left and right, but it looks good. Looks good right now. I think we're back.
We got a lot to talk about with you, but we'll start with what I was just discussing before you hopped on.
Yeah,
your reaction to the benching. Justin Fields is sitting down. Tyrod Taylor, assuming he doesn't, injure himself, walking this week or getting out of bed, he will start Sunday for the Jets.
Did I haven't seen the Glenn presser yet. Did anyone ask about QB2?
He has not spoken this week. He will speak tomorrow for the first time.
It's Tuesday. Shoot. You know what? Even going even further, I mean, it's the right call, obviously, not even close. But going even further is, who's the QB2 going to be? Like that is a big thing for me. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I just want Glenn and the Jets to live in reality. Just live in reality. It's concerning to me. The experiment with Justin Fields, I guess it was an okay shot. It's just very disturbing in terms of some of the things he said about Fields and how different his tone was in the post game Thursday night compared to afterwards. It's as if he got with other people and needed things to be confirmed or presented to him so he could look at it in a different light. And that's the thing that's most concerning to me, number one. Number two, the excuses that are made for the previous QB1 have been mind-boggling. I just put out a video on Twitter, and I'm going to do an article on it later. The double move to A.D. Mitchell down the left sideline, I heard Herb Street say it was a perfect pass. I heard Mikey T say it was a perfect pass when on you and his show on ESPN radio. Folks, you want A.D. Mitchell to catch it, sure, but it's not all A.D. Mitchell. If Fields just puts it out in front, it's a touchdown. It's not even close. So I hear people on Twitter saying it's a perfect. Stop making excuses. It's an average pass in which all he has to do is read the leverage, put it out in front, and it's a walk-in touchdown. Things like that, people just fail to ignore because they want to blame one person. Glenn, fans, the organization, everybody, they must be grounded in reality. That's where it has to start.
I just think at this point, the people who want to make excuses for Justin Fields, you're just living in a alternate universe. I mean, folks, he's in his 5th year. I mean, you mentioned Mike Tannenbaum. Mike Tannenbaum tried to defend Fields by comparing him to Arch Manning, who's in college, who's starting in college. Justin Fields was in college closer to 10 years ago at this point. He's in his 5th year in the NFL. What are we talking about?
That didn't even register with me, and I listened to the whole thing. When did he bring up Arch?
At the beginning, when he was talking about how, it takes time for quarterbacks. And I'm like, Mike, he's on his 3rd team in 3 years. And then when I brought up the fact Mike Tomlin benched him at 4-2, he tried to spin it and go after Aaron Rodgers, who's leading a team right now to a 6-4 record. And he says, is that all you want to be? Yeah, I'd love to be the Steelers in the playoffs every year, winning season every year, having a chance. Yes, I would love that. The Jets have not won more than 7 games in a decade. Forget a winning season, which is also 10 years. Forget the longest playoff drought in sports, which is now 15 years and counting. So we know how bad it's been. I want to now focus on what comes next, because everything the Jets do going forward, it's all about how they finally
get out of
fix the quarterback situation, find their long-term answer. So when you look at what's coming this offseason, Robbie, are you someone who believes it's got to be through the draft? Do you want to explore veteran options, another bridge, and wait till 27? What's your early feel on the future of the quarterback spot for the Jets?
I'm going to be a broken record, but, draft, free agency, it's completely secondary and complementary to what their actual mindset is. In other words, if Mikey T wanted to help out the Jets the most, he would have tried to push the message that, hey, we're still living in the past. We're not thinking in a way in which successful modern teams live. And that's not to say Aaron Glenn can't be successful. He can, but that if he can be, it means Engstrand is special. That's what it would have to take. You need that guy to be the quarterback guru and to be the face of the offense, to be totally autonomous. Do they have that confidence? That's number one. You look at Ben Johnson, what he's doing with Chicago. Detroit's now, what are they, 6-4, 6-3, something like that. They're kind of skidding a little bit. All the evidence is about a certain mindset, and that is my fear from Woody on down, that their mindset still lives in the past, that it has to be a motivational rah-rah guy. And until Glenn and everyone flips that, it doesn't matter who they draft. I hate to be gloom and doom, but it starts there.
Comments, questions, super chats, they will cut the line on the show today. If you tuned in late, tech issues delaying the raffle for today, so we'll do it on the second show with Joe Blewett. However, we will still do a raffle at the end of the show today. You pick the Jet legend you want a jersey in. Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, Keyshawn Johnson, and the late, great Nick Mangold are all your options. So make sure you gift away. Memberships are +2 today as a make good for starting the show late and not being able to go as long as we normally do. I want to bring up a comment here because people love to take things I say and they're doing it to you now out of context.
Yeah.
Spencer Green, who's angry at you, says, Sabo, you literally told us we had a cheat code offense. Now you're telling us you want the Jets to live in reality. Robbie, can you please provide context to your cheat code offensive remarks you made earlier in the year?
Yeah, cheat code offense is about the quarterback's legs. Like, the Jets are a bad football team. And where do they rank rushing wise?
They're in the top 5.
Yeah, they're pretty up there. Why? Is it because of their prowess? Is it because of their unbelievable talent? No, it's because of that cheat code. The folks that are hung up on this think cheat code equals winning. Think cheat code equals success. No, man. If you have any comprehension of the English language, cheat code, the way I was presenting it means Fields' legs give them advantages. Doesn't mean they're going to be great. It means they have advantages. And the fact that they're this bad offensively and can't pass the ball goes to show you just how bad the quarterback is and just how bad the thinking is from the head coach on down. It's not difficult to comprehend.
Well, the thing is, they don't even use Fields properly.
That's the other thing. Glenn saying we don't want to run this guy. Why did you sign him?
Right. Are you worried about him getting
What kind
hurt?
of evaluation did you have on him? It's insane to me that you actually said that out loud. It is beyond insane.
Well, don't forget, this is the same head coach who didn't know the distance in the potential game-winning field goal in London.
To sign Justin Fields and to go with this quote-unquote cheat code offense, you have to be committed to it. And if you're going to take away anything from Glenn's thinking and what they're trying to do this year, the fact that he said that and they want to actually use him as a somewhat traditional quarterback is as disturbing as anything I've seen in a long time.
Look, ultimately, that's why I want to see what this offense looks like with Tyrod, because I think it's easy to say Justin Fields stinks, and he does. But I also think they have not done the best at utilizing some of the things we know he does well. This guy had over 1,000 yards rushing in a season. So is Engstrand just not the right fit with a running quarterback? Does that potentially eliminate a guy who's super mobile in the draft as an option because it didn't work with Justin Fields? That's why I would like to get a better feel for Tanner Engstrand through a multi-game sample size with a different quarterback. And that's why I think playing Tyrod, whether they win or not Sunday, is irrelevant. I just want to see what we have with our coaching staff on that side of the ball. And, we're talking about guys on the team for next year. Well, do we need how many receivers this offseason? Can Mitchell and Mechie play real roles next year? Do we need a number 2 and a number 3? Do we just need a number 2 and we have 3 and 4 on this team? Can Arian Smith actually get a couple targets his way as he's separating at a high rate but not getting the ball thrown to him? These are the reasons why you make the quarterback change as you evaluate your roster the rest of the season.
Yeah, Engstrand, granted, this is the default. Engstrand still needs evaluation, but if I had to guess right now based on what I've seen, I like Engstrand, I like Hayden. However, I like Engstrand, I like Hayden, and I think the message in terms of reining back Fields in the running game is coming from above them. That's, if I had to guess, that would be it. But to your point, inserting Tyrod changes everything. Will the O-line won't have that cheat code advantage. They won't rush as well. Like when Tyrod started against Tampa, I don't think they rushed as well as they previously or have since rushed. And there's a very good reason for that. So I'd love to see the weapons, Arian Smith. I'd love to see the rushing game in more of a traditional sense, because if you draft a guy like Mendoza, you're not going to have this type of offense. You're just not. I mean, Mendoza can move, but you're not going to be that intentional. So, yeah, I think it's a really important thing to see Tyrod or even Brady Cook later down the road in there, because it puts the evaluation skew back to normal, and that's important.
Black Gypsy is the first to enter the raffle today. Your last chance to qualify to win a Darrelle Revis signed helmet, LaDainian Tomlinson signed jersey, and a CJ Mosley signed helmet. Raffle will be during the second show today. We had the internet outage this morning, so I don't have all the names counted because ChatGPT was down. So we will get that set for you.
The whole world was down.
Everything down. Unbelievable. StreamYard was messed up too, which is why the show couldn't start on time. Just who knew Cloudflare basically ran the world.
Yeah, well, the one good thing that comes from this, and I think I texted this to you, you kind of, when this happens, the sites who are on the good side of history, meaning Cloudflare has been public about battling.
Oh, it's Fair or Flare?
Flare. Did I say Fair?
I don't know. I thought it was Fair. Is it Flare?
No, it's Flare. So it's like Flare in Office Space. You gotta wear 30 pieces of Flare, that thing. But like Cloudflare's been public about battling AI bots, and not a lot of companies have done that. So the sites that use it, I'm kind of, I tip my cap, and we're one of those.
Shout out to JetX. Jets X Factor.
right.
Tom Ace says that the outage got him a free bus ticket. Hell yeah, Tom Ace.
Nice.
Look at you. By the way, memberships are boosted +2 as a make good for not being able to do a full show. So Black Gypsy, you were in the raffle for 3. Cash Money Mike, he's in for 4 with this. He says, let's go, Jake. Always looking out for the Asmaniacs. No one better. Put me in the raffle. I got you down. Cash Money Mike. Medic says it's time for Brady Cook to cook. Let's see what he's got. Do you agree with me, Robbie, that the backup, maybe not this week, but the backup down the stretch of the season should be Brady Cook?
Yes.
So when Tyrod inevitably gets hurt, we get to at least see Brady Cook play a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I'm all for that. Not right now. I think you stay status quo, but you start the process now in terms of trying to get him ready and trying to integrate him 100%.
Mike DeRamo in the house. He is in the Asmaniac raffle with this. He is in for 3. Did that play properly? Did you hear that?
I heard it.
You heard that? I'm having some issues with my computer on top of the outage there. So it played through my speaker there, which is a whole nother story. Anyway, a lot still to talk about with this team, Robbie. I do want to get your thoughts just more so on Fields in general, because too many times in Jet history, when we write a quarterback off, we'll never see him again. Well, we end up seeing him again. How many times did we say, well, that's it for Zach Wilson? And he was like, just like a zombie that would never die. He just kept coming back for more and more. I don't think we've seen the last of Justin Fields, because that'd be very un-Jet-like. I think at some point he appears in a game again this year. And knowing what they're paying him and he is under contract, is there a scenario where he's one of the quarterbacks on the roster going into next season?
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal from my point of view. And it would be a tough situation if they look at his performance the rest of the way and he flips it and they want to keep him. But to your point, these quarterbacks never die. Even Vinny. How many times did Vinny come back to play?
Right. It's very Jet. Like these guys never die. They're like, how many times was it the end for Mark Sanchez? And then he kept playing. How many times? Remember they benched Sanchez finally in 2012. They played Greg McElroy, and then McElroy, I think, got a concussion, and then Sanchez has to come back in and play. Like in Jet history, we see this all the time. Well, that's it for so-and-so. It never is. So I think we see Fields at some point again.
It never is. Glenn Foley, back and forth. There's been so many examples. So Ken O'Brien, Pat Ryan, they've been back and forth in the 80s. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the case. But, again, the evaluation, and it's just I don't have much to say in terms of a hardline stance, because Glenn confuses me so much. I could recognize when he's trying to do certain things intentionally to try to put the pressure on himself, like not revealing who's going to start. He wants the pressure on himself. Everyone's going to criticize him instead of his OC or his head coach. But the recent stuff after the Pats game, him being genuinely honest, like, we don't want to run him. I think he even said we could admit that. Obviously, we don't want to run him all the time. What? Like, that is impossible to say about a quarterback like Justin Fields and this offense. If you try to play any other way than the way you should play with Fields, you're killing yourself. I cannot grasp it. I'm still searching for answers.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Appreciate everyone who was tuned in today to an abbreviated program. I'm in for Michael K at 1:00 Eastern. So tune in for more Jets talk. We got 2 great guests that are joining the show today. I'll be talking with Marcus Spears at 1:30 from ESPN, and Paul Feinbaum doing a little college football with him at 2:00 today.
I've always liked Feinbaum.
Hell yeah. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Robbie, you know that. Are you aware the Jets are 13.5-point underdogs? But the positive is that they were 14.5, and then Justin Fields was benched for Tyrod, and the line moved down. So Vegas believes, FanDuel believes, the Jets are a better football team with Justin Fields, or I misspoke, with Tyrod Taylor, not Justin Fields, as the starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard to argue otherwise. It honestly is. And I mean, I had, interestingly enough, I have faith in Engstrand to put the right plan together against Baltimore with Tyrod. It's just a matter of protecting him. And I have a sneaking suspicion once the game is happening and once the game is ending, the O-line is going to be criticized heavily yet again. And we saw it against Tampa. How many times did Tyrod get hit? The reason why this happens is because the offense is completely different. And the defense doesn't have to take guys away from the coverage, take guys away from the pass rush to spy the quarterback. It's not difficult to figure out. So We'll see. We're going to get a good idea of how this O-line could hold up against this defense, even though this defense is anything but great this year.
Yeah, the Ravens defense has not played to their standard, but they have been a lot better of late. So it's still a good test. Yeah, it's still a good test for the Jets. And look, what I want to see is the Jets be competitive, right? Like, obviously, I understand those rooting for losses, but I don't think you want to see this team quit and get blown out, because that is just a awful look for a first-year staff if you've lost the team already. So over these final 7, be competitive. If you're not going to beat the Ravens, I get it. If you're not going to beat the Patriots or the Bills, I get it. But you shouldn't be getting blown out by these teams, especially after you just saw the Browns hang with the Ravens for the entirety of the game. Like, I just want to see the Jets show some fight, be competitive. I want to make sure Aaron Glenn is not reverting back to the horrible game management and clock decisions, especially the ones at the end of each half. That's what I want to see. And I don't want to see dumb comments from Spencer Green like they've been competitive all year. Shut up, Spencer. They have not been competitive all year. All right? Like, you want to be a Jet shill, you be a Jet shill. But don't lie to me and tell me the Jets have been competitive all year. Was the Buffalo Bills game week 2 competitive, Spencer? No. Was the fake competitiveness against Miami, does that wet your beak? 27-21 when they scored a late touchdown just to have the Fakakta onside kick at the end there? Was that competitive that night for you against an awful team? Were they competitive against Dallas down, 23-6 at halftime of that game? I mean, you want to talk about being competitive, please. Please. They have not been competitive all year. That is nonsense.
Did you say Fakakta?
I have. I just did. Fakakta.
It applies. It works. Where does the Jets defense rank right now overall? That's a good question. I'm not a stats guy, by the way, if you guys could tell. But if I remember correctly, they were up there, right, in terms of team defense?
And what metric?
I don't know. Overall. Yards or points. Not points, but yards.
Neither. They're very high.
Okay.
If Dylan Terraman would update his 2025 New York Jets team breakdown document, I could tell you where the defense ranked, but Dylan hasn't updated it since the bye week. So,
Dylan,
step up your game, man. I need your information.
Yeah, right now they're in the bottom quarter, almost the bottom quarter in total yards allowed.
They have 1 turnover all year. It's embarrassing.
Look, they've not been competitive all year. It's what are we doing? Like, are you a bot? Did you just take down Cloudflare? Spencer Green? Like,
I think Spencer Green is a bot sometimes because
what the hell are you talking about, man?
He's the biggest shill for the Jets and Aaron Glenn I've ever seen. Honestly, it's remarkable,
dude. If Glenn and the Jets coaches acted like Spencer Green, the circus would be back in town tenfold. Like, come on, not even them would agree with you. They would argue with you. Like, you're not doing anyone any favors by saying that. If Glenn would argue with you and say it needs to be better, what the hell are you talking about? Like, so many games after week 1, they were out of it in garbage time. The defenses would just back up and Fields would complete short passes. That was the entire reason for a guy like Spencer Green thinking they've been competitive all year. It's just not the case.
If you're watching the games, have the Jets been better in recent games? Sure.
Yes.
But we were talking about a team that was historically bad to start the year. They were the last team to get a win in the NFL this year. So I actually took 2 bets from listeners of the show about 0-17. That's how bad the Jets looked. That 2 listeners bet me $100 that the Jets would finish without a win. Let's not have revisionist history just because you look at the final score in some of these games and they look like they're closer than they actually were. If you watch the season and the Jets now at 2-8 and you think this team has gone out there and has been competitive in all their games, you're just not watching. We need to see them remain competitive over their final 7. I thought against New England, they certainly were competitive. They were held back by the quarterback. But now with Tyrod, no excuse. Fight. Don't get blown out. Be in the game. Give yourself at least a chance to hang around so you could properly evaluate your roster.
Well, and the ultimate test, too, is Jets fans should know this more. It's a quarterback league, right? But when did the defense start playing better? When they ran into worse quarterbacks. Bryce Young, Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix, he's got stats, but Sean Payton does a lot. He does wonders for him. Let's just say that. So, anytime they played a good quarterback, the defense was awful. And they started to get breaks there. Denver, Carolina, Cleveland, and then back we come. So against May and the Pats, who looked disinterested to me, by the way. It looked like, I don't know, it looked like it was August, the feel of that game, honestly. So until they put up a good performance defensively against a good to really good quarterback, I'm not interested.
Speaking of defensive performances, and I'm happy for him, but it's just amazing how this always seems to happen with the Jets. How about Quinnen Williams' debut with the Cowboys last night?
What did he do? I didn't. I saw the 1 sack.
Quinnen Williams last night, 1.5 sacks,
Mhm.
season high 3 quarterback pressures, and a career high 5 QB hits. He had more sacks and QB hits than he had in 8 games combined with the Jets this season in that one game last night.
He's engaged, man. He played, and Jets fans didn't realize this. Some probably knew it and predicted it and thought it. He was disengaged all year. He's been wanting to get traded. So
Yeah.
They have been playing without Quinnen Williams all year. Let's put it that way.
100%. Quinnen still was capable of doing this. Now, part of it, let's add context. The Raiders' interior offensive line
terrible.
is terrible. I think they had like a practice squad guy starting for them at either guard or center. But the reality is Quinnen Williams was not having anywhere near any of the seasons we've seen from him the last couple of years. So part of it is I'm sure he was checked out, but also part of it is why should I have any faith in this coaching staff if all our best players under the previous staff have gotten worse with this staff? Like Jamie Sherwood was there re-signing. He's been nowhere near the level of player we thought we were getting. They actually benched Quincy Williams, who was a first-team All-Pro under Robert Saleh's coaching staff. Not to mention Sauce was not as good this year as he was his first 2 years. Now, he was better this year than he was last year. But, you go down the list. Oh, Brandon Stevens, he's been so good. I mean, he was awful at the beginning of the year. Then he played better. And he didn't have the best game the other night. Like, who on this defense is really exceeding our expectation level for them to this point? I don't know if there's really anyone I could definitively point to. Will McDonald's been very Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. Jermaine's been, here or there. I'm going to give him a pass coming off the Achilles, no matter how healthy he tells us he says he is. It just takes time with that injury. Look, they had 1 turnover all year. I think if anything, if Glenn's coming back, which I still think he is, then Steve Wilks shouldn't. Like, they need a brand new defensive coordinator. And someone asked me yesterday who I would hire, and I can't believe I didn't just say it right away. You know who is like the assistant head coach / pass game coordinator on the defensive side of the ball in Denver?
No, who?
Jim Leonard. So under Vance Joseph and Sean Payton, that's the guy I'd hire in 2
Love
seconds.
Leonard. Love Leonard. He was my favorite player in the Rex era. And, truthfully, I haven't followed his coaching career as closely, but I would definitely investigate. No question about it. In terms of the defense, the pass coverage has been awful. It was bad against New England, but a lot of that was due to a lack of pass rush. Embarrassing, the lack of pass rush. And there's no worse defense in the NFL and football, really, to send 5-man pressure and not move the quarterback at all. And far too often, they're sending an extra guy 5 at the quarterback, and they're not influencing him at all. And when you do that, you're single high, you're man across the board, or you're cover 3 or whatever, you're going to get eaten up. It's that simple. So if I was Wilks, I would have started to mess with 6 or even 7-man pressures at times. I'm just not seeing it enough.
Jim Leonard in Denver. In 2024, he joined Sean Payton, defensive backs coach, pass game coordinator. Yeah. They then promoted him to assistant head coach and defensive pass game coordinator. He previously was at Wisconsin. He was the interim head coach. There were a lot of people in Wisconsin who wanted him to get that job full time. Wisconsin, he was considered one of the best defensive assistants in the league. That's a guy I would love to see the Jets hire. I'm sure there's other names, but
and I love he has NFL experience now in terms of coaching. Like, that's a big deal for me. Yeah. Under Payton as well.
And look, where was Chris Banjo before Aaron Glenn hired him?
Yeah.
Under Sean Payton. So I'd like to pluck from the Sean Payton coaching tree if I could, if I'm Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. And Aaron Glenn himself is Sean Payton. Hey, we found out Aaron Glenn is the key for Detroit because now they're 6-4. So good things ahead.
You think it's been all Glenn? They're missing him?
I just said it. Did I stutter?
Ben Johnson? You think he had something to do with it too?
It sounds made up. Ben Johnson. Whose name is Ben Johnson?
I just think it's hard to go 15-2 back-to-back years.
Yeah, I'm not saying Detroit. Yeah, I'm not saying Detroit's going to fall on their face. They're going to make the playoffs. They'll be there. Ben Johnson is the real deal. I'll say that. That's all I'll say.
He's got the Bears at 7-3, right?
He's the real deal. And Detroit's not going to fall on their face. They'll make the playoffs. They'll be okay. The infrastructure is there, but if you track Campbell, And Mikey T even said it in your interview on ESPN, not interview, but the show on ESPN. He mentioned Campbell. You know, would you have fired Campbell in the first if he didn't recognize the problem with Anthony Lynn and point to Ben Johnson and say that guy's special? Yes, I would have fired him. But I think that's what turned it around, and it was a smart move by Campbell.
You asked about the Jets defensive rankings. Thank you to Dylan Terraman for updating his data. So the Jets defense in scoring is 27th, in rushing they're 23rd, and passing they're 12th, total defense they're 20.
Yeah, it's just, and I would argue it shouldn't even be that high.
No,
But
I mean, think about it though.
Game flow, intentional game flow with Fields, with trying to be methodical, conservative. We saw it with Salah. We're seeing it again with Glenn. That's not the ticket.
I would love to know what the Jets are in DVOA, Dylan, if you have that stat.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because that's a better measure of your defense, because that factors in field position, time and score, circumstantial stuff that factor in. I mean, look, the fact that the Jet defense with 8 of its 11 starters back is this bad, shouldn't that be all you need to know about Steve Wilkes and that staff? They got to turn that staff over if Glenn's sticking around.
Yeah, to me, it's, and I mentioned it already, but if the 4-man rush is not hitting home, and it's in the bottom tier in terms of 4-man pressures, I believe, just by the eye test and what's on film, you got to do more. And 5-man pressures aren't going to do it. Send 6, send 7, and have the leverage be right on the back end. You know, everyone was crushing Carter and loving Brownlee, and now Brownlee's struggling, but I'm not going to get on Brownlee too much. He had a bad game in New England, but I'm not going to crush him because the pass rush is not doing its job. And if you don't make the opposing quarterback uncomfortable, I don't care if Dion's back there or Revis. They're going to get beat in today's game. Can't touch the guys. You can't do anything. So defense is a completely different animal and beast today as compared to 15 years ago. And they're just not getting it done.
Joe on the bike with a great comment. Get Jim Leonard. He can catch a punt in a tornado. He can do anything. Which Jet coach said that line about Jim Leonard? I think it was Mike Westhoff, right? Was that a Westhoff line or was that a Rex Ryan
I was thinking
line?
Rex for some reason. It
Did
might
Rex
have been
say that. It was either Westy or Rex, because I remember Jim Leonard, he was on punt returns for the Jets.
Yeah.
And they asked either Westhoff or Rex why, and it was he can catch a punt in a tornado. He can
I would say it's Rexian, but then again, Westhoff is sort of Rexian himself, you know?
Let's see if I could Google that quote if it comes up.
You got to love that. Free safety, catching punts. It's so short-handed. That's a guy, number one, he has balls of steel, because if anyone knows, if you've done it before, being the lone guy back there on a punt return, got to have some balls, got to have some marbles, number one. So the fact that your free safety, who's really not that athletic, let's be honest, compared to the other NFL guys, can do that and was trusted with that, it's a great sign.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Robby, why should we trust Glenn and Muji to get the quarterback situation right when they were this wrong on Justin Fields?
All right, I'll try to do my best here. And to be fair to Glenn, like, there are positive signs. The way he ran camp during the summer, very positive. The accountability aspect, very positive. Some of the defensive teachings has been positive, because some of it is a departure from what they were used to under Salah. Read and react up front instead of just shooting the gaps irresponsibly, getting burned on counters and traps and delays and screens. So you got to flip that over, and that's going to take time, and I agree with that. Some of that's positive. The O-line coaching has been positive. Again, with Tyrod, it's going to flip. It's going to be a real test compared to the cheat code test, which is a real thing. So it's not going to come as easy. I like Engstrand. I like Hayden. I like some of the teaching on defense. So some of that core fundamental stuff is present and is there, and I could really applaud that. But in terms of the quarterback, in terms of what I've heard from Glenn, I can't give you any confidence, because the fact that he went with this direction with Fields and the fact that he's not going all in while having Fields, thinking
they took a half measure with it, 100%.
Yeah, Mike Hermantraut, half measure. You can't have any confidence that they're going to get the right guy or even flip their attitude to the modern way in this league. But there's some fundamental base level stuff there. It doesn't move the needle as much as it did in 1998.
So interesting tweet here that I want to pull up from a guy I really respect, Jason at Over the Cap. So he's a Jet fan,
Jason's,
but he's a really good reference for football fans to figure out, how much cap space your team has or what the actual layout of a football contract is. So Rich Cimini yesterday tweeted out the financial impact of the Jets cutting Justin Fields before June 1st. $22 million cap charge. Rodgers is going to count for $35 million, which another mistake by this regime was not just absorbing Rodgers' cap all this year.
Yeah, it
if
didn't
they
make
were going to handle the
sense.
season the way they did, not splitting it up over two. But anyway, so $57 million on the cap for quarterbacks who will not be on the Jets next year, right? If that scenario plays itself out. And Jason responded to Rich just now, about 18 minutes ago, and he goes, whiff on a contract by the new regime, market for failed starters was generally anywhere from $5 million to around $15 million. The Jets guaranteed $30 million, showing they really thought Fields would be the guy. So once again, I'm just very worried about this regime being the ones to now figure out what the plan is at quarterback going forward.
And you have a right to worry. It's shocking to me. Listen, fans hoping and praying Fields could be the guy. Yeah, I get it. It's one thing, but when you watch him, forget this year. In his previous 4 years in the NFL or whatever it was, it's a short passing league. The stats show it. It's the lowest yards per completion in NFL history 5 years running, including this year. Fields is deliberate. When you watch him drop back, he's deliberate. He's staring down his guy. Sometimes he tries to stare guys down, but it's intentional. He's deliberate and he's slow and he's methodical. You can't have that in this type of league. It's the antithesis of maximizing your potential. In terms of his legs, sure, I get it, but everything else has to be 100% for it to work. So it just, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly.
Yeah, it's a bad look. Hopefully they learn from it. I mean, if you want to be positive, hopefully they learn from it. I think is a way to be positive on that way. All right. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. We got over 500 people in here live right now, so appreciate everyone who is supporting the program, supporting the show today. We had some tech issues at the beginning, so thanks for bearing with us. If you enter the raffle, this is the last show to do it. It's all +2 on Super Chats and memberships that qualify. Win a Revis signed helmet, LT signed jersey, and a CJ Mosley signed helmet during our second stream this afternoon. Comments, questions, Super Chats, those will cut the line. Dylan answered my prayers. He gave us the DVOA metrics, which are a better metric to use on where your team actually is in important categories. So they're 29th on defense, which makes sense. It's been a bad defense all year. 28th on offense also checks out. And they're third on specials, which also checks out. I think the special teams unit has been by far and away the most impressive part of this team. So this checks out to me when I see this.
See, this is a good exercise, and kudos to DVOA for, carrying its weight. It's a good job. If Glenn is truly of the old, and it's impossible to get in his mind, but if he's truly of the mindset that offense, defense, special teams, 3 units, they all mean the same and they're all equal in importance, then this is the result. Special teams, even if it's great, it's not going to move the needle much. That's the way it is. So Glenn has to flip his mindset and understand there's one unit that means the most by far above the other two, and the other two must complement it. And that's the thing I'm going to be watching for the rest of this year.
Jay Quest says, I don't think coaching's the biggest problem on the team. Glenn has to get better, and Will just needs time. Do you think coaching is the biggest problem on this team, Robby?
It's tricky because, again, there are things I like in terms of the fundamental level, in terms of what he's trying to teach and do. But in terms of trying to get in the right mindset for today's league is where I think it's the biggest issue. In terms of actually teaching the game of football, no. Talent's a big deal. And I think they devastated. They have no one else to blame but themselves. They devastated it this offseason. They made it 10 times worse. But to be determined. We'll see.
Comments, questions, Super Chats, they will cut the line. I see Black Gypsy wants the StreamYard link. It's pinned, baby. Unless I posted the wrong link, but I got callers on hold, so it is pinned. I will repost it again for you out there, though, Mr. Gypsy. We always appreciate your calls. Let's get to a couple calls here on a condensed version of our show. First up today is Jason in Jerusalem. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. First of all, prayers for a speedy recovery to Chris Broyd.
Yeah,
Really scary
absolutely.
news from that. I mean, not to make light of the situation, but can we even have an off week? Where Sunday where we're not playing, where something doesn't bad happen to the team.
Yeah, crazy. Even on a weekend where the Jets don't play, they're still in national news for that terrible story.
yeah.
Yeah. It's also starting to make a bit of sense now why Glenn didn't, play the whole thing before the Brown game as to who the quarterback was. Sorry, before the Bengal game, because he wanted to switch quarterbacks, but he didn't want to name it and then flip back to Tyrod if he was not injured. And once, Fields sort of earned 2 starts. He earned the start against the Browns, and you didn't want to switch on a short week. So, in retrospect, I mean, he did seem like a bit of an a-hole the way that he was dealing with the media on it, but it kind of makes sense in retrospect how Glenn handled the situation.
Yeah, but why did he do it for a
for
second week? Why did he do it for a second week after the bye after Fields was tremendous, though? At that point, it's just silly. Because if you're going to play that game, then why would you announce a quarterback now when if you want competitive advantage, which is what he cited, then why wouldn't you take this right up till Sunday again so the Ravens don't know which quarterback they're playing?
Oh, because it already leaks out in terms of who's practicing and stuff like that.
Jason, I think it started there where your mindset is, but then he did it intentionally to put the spotlight on him. I think there's really I think it started there with the uncertainty, but then he kept going with it. Okay, we won. I'm going to keep going with it. I'm going to keep being an ass, and I don't care if the pressure's on me. So if we're going to credit Glenn for one thing, I think that's a sneaky thing that happened.
Right. I mean, I agree with you, especially, coupling with how he dealt with Samini, which, as I mentioned before on the show, I just thought was just a really low-class move for no reason whatsoever.
It's the school of Parcells. Parcells did it too. And, I think I texted this to Jake while one of these pressers was happening. I said, this attitude can work. Obviously, you have to be winning for it to work, but this attitude can work. I just need to hear him criticize one of his players. He never does it. And yeah, it's a new world. It's not the 80s anymore, but still, everything can't be peaches and cream all the time. We live in reality more times than not.
And Parcells was huge on that. I still remember calling Terry Glenn she.
Yeah, just thinking about the same. Terry Glenn is still living it down.
And all this talk, I mean, I'm happy that they have the ammo in terms of having the choice, because it's hard when your team needs to reach for a quarterback in the first round. I mean, Lord knows we've seen Jake Lockers and Josh Freeman's who were drafted way early because the team was desperate for a QB. But that being said, if you have somebody, you get them. I mean, this is a team that passed on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes simply because they liked what was available the following year. So it's hard when you're in a situation where you must draft a quarterback because that never turns out well. But you also don't wait if one falls into your lap.
You got to get a quarterback this offseason, Jason, and you got to get it. And you cannot wait till next year. Here's the other thing, too. Like, if you're Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, you're not guaranteed 2027 if you go out there and you go 5-12 in 2026. You're not. You could have all the picks you want, but if Glenn continues to look bad as a coach, and maybe the bad is, he doesn't have a quarterback. Okay, well, if he passes on getting another quarterback this offseason, he's not necessarily guaranteed to get one in 2027. And then here's the thing. If you're the Jets, then you go into 27 with a rookie and you have to win in year 3, right? You can't have a third straight losing season, but you have a rookie quarterback. So how do you win when you have a rookie quarterback? Like, it's not easy to do. It's very hard to do. In fact, like, not everyone's CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels in year 1. It takes time. And then I think the Jets are also messed in that spot too, messed up the timeline for that rookie quarterback to develop because that guy needs to develop, but Glenn also needs to win and save his job. So it's kind of like the Giants with Brian Dable. So you need to go out there and get your quarterback this offseason. You made the trade with Sauce and Quinnen to have picks to move up to get your guy, worst case scenario. So people might not want to hear this, but I'm almost willing to bet, copious amounts of cash the Jets will be drafting a quarterback in the first round this year. Like, that was the whole purpose of these trades, to make sure that they loaded up on picks to be able to get their guy this offseason, not wait till 2027.
Agreed. You gotta find a guy now, and it doesn't eliminate you from the next year. It doesn't. So find the guy now, and most importantly, flip that mindset. Do your homework and figure out what it takes to win in today's league. And it's not about old school principles. You could have old school coaching principles. That's fine, but it can't be the star of the show. That's the if I had 10 seconds with Glenn and I could just sit down with him, that's exactly what I would say. Old school principles are fine. They have to be complementary. The secret sauce is out, and the teams that have success understand what that secret sauce is.
If I had 10 seconds with Glenn, I would ask him about Woody Johnson's hugs.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
And what are they like? What do they feel like? Are they warm? Are they pleasant?
Embracing.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Yeah.
You wonder about that as well?
That presser, I don't know if we ever talked about it. The one thing that concerned me about that presser, not one thing, but the main thing.
Which one? The intro presser?
No, Woody talking about the hugs at the owners' meetings. Is Woody thinking about Glenn and thinking about, I think he mentioned motivation, and he said, oh, man, I would play for him. I would play for him. He motivates me. Woody, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the coach makes you feel. That's the exact wrong way to go about it. If the coach motivates you, it's meaningless. Means nothing. And the fact that motivation is talked about so much is exactly this old school mindset that I keep referring to. Old school principle, motivation, accountability, that's all good stuff. That's fine. But it's not the main needle mover in today's league. The main needle mover is smarts. It's deception. It's Ben Johnson-esque innate understanding of making moves in the moment, and the offense has to lead the way type stuff. That's what it is. So again, if I had 10 seconds of Woody, there's the pitch.
And then would you ask for a hug?
Yeah, we'd have hugged at the outset.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
All right, couple calls before we get out of here. Once again, short show. We'll be back this afternoon, but I am gifting a membership to the community because we only have 2 so far. Whoever gets it, +2. That's right. Let's go. Jake Asman, yours truly, gifted a membership to OG Jet fan. That's Tommy, who's now going to be entered in the raffle coming up for the Jets jersey and this afternoon's weekly raffle for 3. How about that? Let's go. More of your calls right now. Asman is next. What's up, Asman?
Hey, how you doing, Jake? How you doing, brother? Hi,
What's up,
Robby.
my friend?
What's up, Asman?
Look at this
Look,
father
look
right
who's
here.
Look who's here. That's a new member.
Nice.
Hey, this is the Asmaniac. Say hi. She just woke up. So hey, brother, I think those hugs they might be a little tighter later, late, and they might come out with a whispering voice telling Aaron Glenn, you must bench the QB.
Yeah, that's tender.
Because that's what he just did. Eventually. We know what we have. I mean, we don't have a QB. We have and the reason why Tyrod, I might believe he's gonna start is because we need to evaluate how this offense is running right now. There's A.D. Mitchell, there's Mechie, we got Mason Taylor. We already know what Breeze is. I hope they really kept him. They keep him. What's up? Sorry. They keep him and they sign him. I'm in the process right now that I was just thinking, listening to you guys. Could we double down on QB? We have 4 top 60 picks in the next year, right? And there's going to be a Drew Aller who got unfortunately injured with Penn State. I think he might be a 3rd, 4th rounder. We might pick him up as well. Worst case scenario, he becomes like our backup, a cheap backup, because right now backups are going for 15, 20 million a year, which is what Justin Fields is going to become for us next year. That's all I have. I'm going to keep here, and I'm going to have my Jets. Oh, this way. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Have a good one, guys.
Good for you.
You too.
Hugs for you,
I
Asman.
hug him every day. I hug him every day.
I have no issue with the Jets taking 2 quarterbacks in the draft this year. 1 in the first round and 1 on day 3. We've seen this work in recent NFL history. The Niners took Trey Lance. They still took Brock Purdy. You go back to the Redskins drafting RG3. They still drafted Kirk Cousins. If you want to take 2 quarterbacks this year, no problem with it. Draft the quarterback, I say, every year till we have our franchise quarterback, because why not? Honestly, don't you wish the Jets drafted someone on day 3 this year that they could be playing right now instead of 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor? Wouldn't that be more beneficial? I mean, maybe we see Brady Cook, but if they took you know, I don't even really remember a lot of the quarterbacks this year. Kyle McCord or Will Howard or what's his name who's in Miami, Quinn Ewers. If they took one of those guys, like we would see him guaranteed. But now there's not even a guarantee we actually see Brady Cook, who was a UDFA.
Yeah, all these guys, not exactly tearing it up, by the way, but it's still rookie year. You never know. But draft the quarterback, double up. It's not like the old days. You don't have to negotiate. It's not doesn't come with a big cost. So absolutely, you have the draft capital, go do it.
I'm with you. All right, more of your calls right now. But first, can we shout out Green Gang, who's showing love to the community with a 10 spot of channel memberships?
It's up to you, New York, New York.
I misspoke. I meant 5, but it's +2, so it's 7. Green Gang, thank you, and don't worry, Robby.
No takebacks.
I got another one for you. Anthony Logerano is in the house. He has just gifted 5 channel memberships. Give him a hug.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Hell yeah. All right. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a big Bob Sabo fan. They share the same name.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Oh, Jake, I saw that one. Jake, and you got the same one Addison has on his show.
What's up, Bobby?
Me getting thrown by the door. Thank you for apologizing to me yesterday, Jake.
Why? What did Jake do? Bobby, what did he do?
Well, he played that video and like you did apologize yesterday. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. That was good. Jake, where are you?
We'll leave it at that. I would ask what the video was, but I don't want to.
That's a job. I don't want that video.
Okay, let's not relive it.
So, Rob, how you doing today?
You know, I'm living life, Bobby. Living life. Hectic day. The Cloudflare took out a lot of the internet.
Cloudflare? I know what happened.
It went down, and there was also an AI attack.
AI attack?
Yeah, I forget which AI it was, but first time it was an autonomous attack. I forget which country. I think China, coming out of China. But long story short, Bobby, the entire internet is on fire today. So really crazy.
It's on fire? Oh, yeah. Good. Okay. I better not do any shows today.
Nah, YouTube's okay. YouTube's got its own thing.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good. All right. So I'm going to call up Jake's afternoon show at 1 o'clock. I like Michael K. I like him.
What do you think about Aaron Glenn so far?
I think he's not what he's supposed to be. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's been rough. What about Fields?
That was another disappointing.
Yeah.
But I like Jason Dart on the Giants. Do you?
Who?
Jason Dart. Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Dart's. That's right. You like the Giants? Yeah, Dart's a player.
I like Scatterboo, too. He's injured.
Dart's a player.
Jake, I'm going to call you up in the afternoon show.
You do that, Bob. Sorry, I had tech issues there. I didn't hear any of your call.
Thank you. I apologize for you. Thank you for your apology yesterday.
Yeah, you didn't like when I played the job video?
I'm trying to get the job.
J-O-B, job.
I just want to confirm. That's the video you don't like?
Yeah.
But what if I play the Gorman version?
What Gorman version?
There's a Gorman version of that same video.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, you have.
I don't think so. But, Jake, I wanted to ask you a question. I know it's nothing to do about football. It's about basketball, okay? Are you doing a Knicks meetup this year?
I am. I don't know when that.
Okay, can you tell us? I want to come down. I think me and Michael should go down.
I heard you're banned from the Garden, though.
No, I'm not.
What'd you do, Bobby?
Garden.
Yesterday, the same thing Charles Oakley did. He got into it with security.
Yesterday, guess what happened? Yesterday on WWE, they had it was from Madison Square Garden.
Scatterboo. Yeah.
And then what's his name? Ashley Cook. She's a singer. Guess what show she's on? General Hospital. She's saying the national anthem.
Oh yeah.
Oh
right,
yeah.
I gotta go.
Oh yeah, for your show. Yeah, at 1 o'clock.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Thank you, Bob. I'm having so many tech issues here.
Dude, I'm doing a million things at once while I'm on the show. Like looking at the security, looking at our server. It's absurd.
Yep. Bino checks in. I heard someone on the radio saying they will trade for Tanner McKee and use the picks to build the Jets. are not going to trade for McKee and be like, we're set at quarterback now, we're good. I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they bring him in to compete with someone, a different bridge or a rookie, and add to their depth chart, but I'm not buying that. I don't believe it. Mike Perez with a super chat. Drew Aller, 6'5", 235, developmental QB in the 4th or 5th after picking our future QB in the 1st round would be a smart move. I'll hug to that. You are in the raffle. Let's go.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
We are boosting your membership there, Mike. So you're in for 4. It's normally 2. It's +2. Appreciate your support. Yeah, look, again, I don't know if it even has to be Aller. I haven't gone that far down the quarterback rabbit hole yet this offseason. But the idea of taking 2 quarterbacks, I have no problem if we're going to obviously assume one of those quarterbacks is someone they want with their 1st round pick.
Agreed. I think it's the right mindset. It doesn't have to be Aller, but it's the right mindset. And I get why people say Aller because he was projected to be,
talented. Yeah, he's got the size.
Every time I see him in a college game, I don't like what I see, but
I think James Franklin is not exactly a great offensive coach.
Agreed. But yeah, the mindset's right. You just keep targeting guys and never limit yourself to just one. Just don't do that.
Cynthia in for 1. And guys, I apologize. ChatGPT for me is still down, so I will not be able to do a jersey raffle.
Really?
Yeah, it's not loading everything I need to be able to count all the names. So everyone that's in this raffle, you will be in this afternoon's weekly raffle. And I'm going to do a daily prize on the second show. You will already be entered in that. So I apologize for all the issues today with Cloudflare, but I just will not have the chance to do our normal end of show raffle for this one. So stick around for this afternoon and we'll get to it then. All right, let's do one last call here before a surprise guest at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
I'm Black Gypsy. I'm gonna set all you delusional Jets fans straight. Your takes make me wanna punch you in the face or kick you in the crotch. When this team sucks, they suck. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy. I'm Black Gypsy.
Sabo.
What's up?
Jake. All right, so I had a funny thought process, right? Because after the presser from AG, the best thing he said, this proves my point that he's the worst coach ever, is that I'm not going to run Justin Fields. All right? Why did you get Justin Fields? All right? That's number one. Then
before you go on, it was the intentionality behind it. Like,
yeah,
the second drive, okay, we just can't keep this up. No, it can't be staggered. It has to be a consistent. You don't want to go too crazy, but you got to keep it consistent across the game.
It has to have an identity. We don't have an identity. If you do something one quarter, then don't do it the next quarter. And then everyone, like Spencer was in the chat, like giving me shit a couple of days ago.
He's
about him being a good coach. And I'm like, all right, cool. You can have your opinion. But here's the thing that bothers me about this whole thing. You picked 3 quarterbacks, and all 3 of them suck in from what he's telling us now. Like, you picked 3 quarterbacks. I don't want you to pick another quarterback. You showed me in one season that you can't evaluate anybody because you don't know what your players can do, and you don't have a quarterback that can show us what your players can do. You won't start Brady Cook, and you picked him. Tyrod Taylor was hurt, and you have Fields. 3 bad quarterbacks, and that's the guy that gets to choose our next quarterback. How? Name another coach that gets to pick 3 bad quarterbacks and then gets another quarterback.
I'll play devil's advocate for a second.
Go ahead.
Don't count Tyrod. He was already here under contract. Brady Cook, they get a positive for that in my mind because in OTAs, he was god-awful. I couldn't believe he was on the field, and I think it was nerves. And he progressed really well. It shocked me. He actually went to the practice squad, but they knew they held him on. They held to him tightly until the very end, and they knew he'd pass through safely. Fields was the big one, but was it all Glenn? That whole situation. That's the question I have. That's devil's advocate. I'm not disagreeing with you, but you know what I'm saying. Like, was there more to that than just Glenn?
I think it was Glenn, because if it's not for Glenn, then he wouldn't say, I'm not going to run him to get him hurt. Like, he has a commitment to him. Like, he's his buddy or his friend. Like, you're a coach and he's a player. Like he's there to do a job.
I said at the time, it really concerned me that if and we don't know this, we still don't know this. If it was true that they promised him the starting job, it concerned me because that goes against everything Glenn was preaching. And
I think I think he did. I think Glenn lies to her face every time, and whatever lies, the lie that he needs to tell is what he's going to tell. For the defense, because you're a defensive guy, like I agree with putting 5, 6 guys, 7 guys on the line if you can. Change to a nickel and just bring linebackers, bring safeties, do whatever you got to do because like every team that plays against us, we make them look so good on offense. Minus like the Denver game. Like every team, Dylan Gabriel really bothered me because we made him look amazing playing against us, which our defenses are super predictable. Like there's no scheme that he does that disguises anything. And there's no one understands anything. So like I don't get any positives from the coaching staff. I get that people's like, we're gonna make the team better. They're gonna be more disciplined in certain things. But I want to see it on the field. Like I want to see play calling. Like, the thing about Ben Johnson that I like is the creativity. It makes the game so much more awesome to watch. We don't have any creativity. Even when we try, it just doesn't look good because it doesn't seem like it's practiced or understood. Like, well, what defense would you run? And I don't think we can run cover 6. Like, what defense would you actually run? Because you're a defensive guy. If you were worse,
it would be all. It depends on the looks. It depends on the game plan. I mean, if you defense, people kind of get this confused. It's not about play calls necessarily. It's about the game plan and it's about the checks. All right, what are you going to do if they come out in 3-by-1? Cover 6 is a popular way to handle it. Quarters on one side, 2 on the other. What do you do? What's your game plan against empty? What's your game plan against 12 personnel? And the game starts and you go through the first few series that way with the game plan checks. Okay, if they motion, from pro to twins, I'm just giving you an example, then we handle it this way. Do we rotate the safeties or does the safety follow? Then after the first few drives, you assess and then you make adjustments. So that's why when you watch a football game, you don't see the defense in a huddle classically like the offense. It's not ready, set, break. It's checks. And then you're talking to the mic to try to decide what's going on and then change things up. I think for the Jets, one good thing, Wilkes has done a better job of disguising as the year has gone on. Pre-snap, they're starting to disguise. They're very young. AZ, I know he was hurt, but Malachi, he's starting to get better. The major issue is not making the other quarterback uncomfortable. So it doesn't have to be a 6 or 7 man rush. It doesn't have to be a 4-man rush. Whatever you have to do to make the opposing quarterback uncomfortable has to be the goal. And they haven't even come close to doing that.
Yeah. Last one. So in the end zone, I was watching and somebody said something. I don't know who it was, but wouldn't this team be better playing 4-6 in the end zone than the defenses that we have been playing?
4-6 Buddy Ryan?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean 4-6 is more. 4-6 is kind of extinct based on today's league because you're overloading one side with your box guys and then you're putting the strong safety in the box on the other side. If you're talking about a bear front, then maybe, but a bear front's more for a 3-4 team.
And that's why I said 4-6 because we're a 4-3 2-man under team.
Yeah, I just you're talking about where on the field? What are you talking about? The goal line?
End zone because of the play action that we always get beat on to the right from the tight end.
It's more about coaching. It's more about experience with the linebackers and not in keying in on your reads, whether it's the guard, whatever you're looking at, to not get fooled. Now, if you look across the NFL, it's a very common thing because the short passing dominates this league. And if the offense executes perfectly, no defense could stop it. That's just the way it is. So down on the goal line, it's about leverage. It's about positioning. And your DBs have to be in sync with whatever's happening up front. And they're not there yet. They have a long way to go in terms of that.
And last thing I got, why is it that defenses that worked back in the day, like the Buddy Ryan defense or whatever, why is it those defenses gone extinct? Is it because offense now is so much different?
It's a completely different game.
But wouldn't you think those defenses will still work? Those old defenses, if you adapted them to the new game?
It depends who the quarterback is. If it's a good quarterback, he'll shred you. He'll shred you apart. Honestly,
There's too much speed, I feel like, on offense now, too. So
there's not enough physicality. The main thing is the lack of physicality. Physicality in the 80s, you knew what you were going to get with certain teams. Giants, heavy rushing, pass rush, defense. Bears, all defense. Eagles with Buddy, all defense. Niners, short passing. They were the start of what we have today. So the identities were set in stone. And the physicality was there. So the one-on-one battles made things more random. Today, without physicality, speed is more predictable.
Yeah,
That's
that
why
is
Ben
true.
Johnson, speed is more predictable, no physicality. That's why guys like Ben Johnson, McVay, O'Connell, Reed struggled in Philly. Like, he made the playoffs, got to a Super Bowl, but he was always criticized for throwing too much. The league caught up with Andy Reid as opposed to Reid adjusting to the league. Notice how he's dominating now because the league got less physical. Speed matters. He could move the chess pieces around a lot more predictably. So that's why offense, short passing, offensive minds are dominating.
That's all I got.
All right.
Mr. Gypsy, thank you for your service. All right. Tommy Burrow, I see you on hold. I don't have time to do a full call with you, but I do want to show off your luscious hair. You Joe Burrow
dude.
look-alike. I had to show Robbie this. Look at this.
Almost as good as mine, but
Tommy, do me a favor. Call back this afternoon. I'll put you right on, but I'm up against it because of the tech issues, and I got to get to ESPN. So I just want to show off your hair because it looks tremendous today. You really did it up, full Joe Burrow-esque. And Sabo's got great hair, so I wanted you two to have a nice little meeting of the minds here on the program.
I'm going to invite you to the hair club, but we got to
I
keep it
appreciate
secret.
that.
You got it.
You're the man, Tommy. Appreciate you. I'll do a full call with you this afternoon. But right now, let's quickly check in with a man who needs no introduction.
Dudes, just finishing up breakfast. Woo! Steak and eggs.
Would you have burrito?
Nope. Steak and eggs with a little bit of that brown surf sausage. Spicy.
Nice.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Thank you, Beast. Taylor with the last super chat here, all the way in for Jim Leonard as DC. Taylor got you in the raffle with your boosted memberships here. For those just tuning in, tech issues, can't do the weekly raffle. Blame Cloudflare for that incident.
Yeah.
We will be able to do the full weekly raffle this afternoon. If you enter today, you will be in for either the daily prize or I'll put you in for next week. I'll go through all the logistics and figure out what we're going to do for that. But don't worry, you will be accounted for in this afternoon's raffle. Mr. Sabo, I know you've had a hell of a morning too with your website being crashed with all this. So appreciate you squeezing out time, man. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
You got it. I'll catch you later, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is Robby Sabo. My name is Jake Asman. Joe Blewett will be on with us this afternoon. So be ready for that. I will talk to you guys around 4:30-ish. But if you want to hear more of me, I am in for Michael K today on ESPN New York from 1 to 3. So we will be talking Jets, Giants, Yankees, Mets, Knicks, all things New York sports coming up from 1 to 3. You can watch it on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. So let's get some Asmaniacs in there taking over the chat, the whole thing. Until then, though, I'll talk to you guys soon. I leave you with this. Jets, 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 Jets.
Oh, my bad, everybody. Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.